So, Tennessee pastor gets a standing ovation after admitting sexual incident with teen. Okay. That's weird. A Tennessee pastor who publicly confessed to having a sexual incident with a high school student in 1998 received a thunderous standing applause when he asked to be forgiven. Before asking for forgiveness, Andy Savage, the MegaChurch pastor, sat on a wooden stool on the stage at High Point Church in Memphis on Sunday and admitted that he was guilty of sexual activity with a teen. And this is according to video footage of the event. As a college student on staff at a church in Texas more than 20 years ago, I regretfully had a sexual incident with a female high school senior in the church, he said. After his confession, the segregation congratulated the pastor for his honesty with loud cheers and a standing ovation. The victim, Jules Woodson, claimed that Savage assaulted her 20 years ago when she was a 17-year-old student. On Friday, Woodson went public with her story on WatchKeep, a Christian blog, after the rise of the Me Too hashtag empowered her to come forward and break the silence that protected her assaulter. According to Woodson, the assault occurred when Savage, who was 22, was giving her a ride home from the Woodlands Parkway Baptist Church just north of Houston. Woodson wrote that Savage pulled over the car, unzipped his jeans, pulled out his penis, and asked her to perform oral sex. I was scared and embarrassed, but I did it. I remember feeling that this must mean that Andy loved me. He then asked me to unbutton my shirt. I did. He started touching me over my bra and then lifted my bra up and began touching my breast. Woodson claims she notified Larry Cotton, associate pastor of the Baptist Church, after the incident, but was told to keep quiet. Through the tears, I told him I was too embarrassed to tell my mom what had happened. He said not to worry, that they would talk to my mother as well. He then told me not to mention anything that had happened to anyone else. A few weeks after Woodson's complaint, Savage mysteriously left the church. So here's the real story here. They covered it up. That guy didn't tell her not to tell her mom because he was worried about her embarrassment. He said it so that he could cover it up. And they mysteriously moved the other guy. And then he confessed. He made a confession and asked for forgiveness after she came forward. She came forward first. How clueless. And you know what? I'll say this, and I'm not trying to bash anybody that has religious views. I know a lot of people do. I have a lot of friends and family that do. I personally do not. But I really do see a lot of blind allegiance to religious authority figures, and it's absolutely ridiculous. This Tennessee pastor did not have some evolution. He did not. I mean, it doesn't seem like he actually had remorse, because the only thing he's saying is, like, he got caught. She came forward. So he's saying, I regretfully had a sexual incident. And he asked for forgiveness. Did he apologize? It doesn't say anything here. He admitted he was guilty because she broke the story. So he admitted to it. Yeah, he didn't deny it. I guess you can at least give him that. Did he apologize to her? Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like he apologized. If you don't apologize, are you really remorseful? I don't think so. Do you guys think so? If you don't apologize to the person, I've regretted things I've done. If you listen to his speech, he repeatedly emphasized that. Emphasized what? What did he emphasize? It was 20 years ago. I understand that. Why was it covered up? Did he apologize? I don't want to watch his whole speech. I don't see anything in this article about an apology. He emphasized what? Did he emphasize that he wanted forgiveness, or he emphasized that it was 20 years ago? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying he emphasized that it was 20 years ago? This chat gets delayed sometimes, and it's hard for me to tell what exactly folks are saying. What's up, Chromatic Tree? Thank you so much for the like. Okay. So he wasn't sorry. He kept saying it was 20 years ago, it was 20 years ago, it was 20 years ago, it was 20 years ago. I gotcha. So yeah, asking for forgiveness isn't the same as apologizing. It totally isn't. This guy just got caught. He never would have asked for forgiveness. What a joke. And I bet you right after he did that, he reminded people why they need to give money to the church. I bet you, right, because this is a mega church. This is one of those, they are the most corrupt of the corrupt of the corrupt when it comes to churches. And let me tell you, that's a corrupt institution. When you're carrying the gold star for corruption, and I think mega churches, they get the gold star. They beat out pretty much everybody. They get the gold star for you are the corrupt of the corrupt of the corrupt. These pastors drive the nicest cars. They run their infomercials. It's insane. People buy into it. And George Carlin said it best. When it comes to clear bullshit, a businessman cannot hold a candle to a clergyman. Carlin said it right. Carlin said it best. And these are the corrupt of the corrupt. So yeah, this guy isn't sorry. This guy doesn't feel any remorse. He just got caught. And he has a room full of brainwashed drones that clapped for him. You know it's bad when you give the Vatican a run for their money. No shit. No shit. Wow. Wow. That's disgusting. That whole thing is disgusting. And I like how Newsweek, they just say he gets a standing ovation. They don't like where's a headline where it's like they covered this up? Where's the headline that victim of sexual assault told to keep quiet by pastor authority? Why isn't that the headline? Newsweek they have failed so miserably. Some of the people, I think to write for Newsweek, you just have to have a pulse. I think that's it. Some of the people they've given articles to, and you see these people, they have no journalistic credentials whatsoever. They have no business writing. Some of the most ridiculous headlines, and this actually isn't that bad of a headline. I'm just kind of going off on a side tangent here. Didn't the church initially blame her for it? I don't see that in this particular article, but this is my first reading about it. So I don't know. I don't know if they blamed her or not. I would imagine they did, yeah. Honestly, yes, I would imagine they did. Let's keep in mind, these kind of far-right sects of Christianity, they are sexist, they are misogynist, and they entertain these very dangerous, archaic views. Who doesn't get blamed in the church? The pastors. They don't get blamed. The clergy. They don't get blamed. The people that make the most money. They don't get blamed. Those are the people that don't get blamed. Who does get blamed? Everybody else. But yeah, why isn't that a big thing here? Why isn't the thing that a victim was told to shut up? A victim was told to keep quiet. That's the real story here. It gets worse. The leader said after the ovation. All right. So wait, what did the leader say after the ovation? Did he say, give us money? Did he say, and by the way, for just $5, you can be saved too. I'm sure you committed worse things. It was 20 years ago. Forgive me. I'm Reverend Ron. Give me cash. Okay, so after it, the pastor said that they support both the victim and the predator. Of course. Oh, it's sad for everybody involved. It's this poor predator just wants their life back. Wow. And people clapped and stood up for this. People clapped and stood up for this. You know what's crazy is that I guarantee you, in that church that day, there was one child who's maybe between the ages of 12 and 15 that watched this whole thing unfold and thought in their mind, this is fucking bullshit. This is bullshit, and I gotta get out. And man, if that person is out there, and hey, who knows, maybe you're even watching this, get out. Turn 18 and get out. And I hate to use the cliche, but it gets better. It gets better. You know, man, I can't relate to that kind of extremity. You know, I mean, I did grow up with religion in my life, but, you know, my parents were, I call them buffet Catholics. Like, they didn't, like, all the bad stuff they didn't follow, and all, like, the good principles, like the principles of loving your neighbor and peace and charity, they like that. But all the like abortion and anti-homosexuality stuff, they were like, yeah, no, that's wrong. And I was like, well, why do you go to church if it's wrong then? Well, because we like the other stuff. And I'm like, well, why? Don't you have to accept the whole thing? No. Like, well, no, you kind of do. Like, that's why I eventually said, no, thank you. Don't want to be part of the team anymore. But I can relate to not connecting with, you know, a lot of the stuff you were brought up with and wanting something more. And, man. Whew. I hope that woman that was victimized is doing well now and moved on to a better life. And I hope she's not in that town anymore. I hope she doesn't practice that religion anymore. I hope she's doing better. And as far as this guy, I mean, he's successfully part of the rigged system. He's winning from it. I guarantee this pastor is rich. I guarantee he feels no remorse for what he's done. In fact, if anything, he feels even more validated because he got some nice attention for it from a bunch of people that blindly worship him. And I don't know what to think about people that subscribe to this kind of religion, these kind of fringe megachurch religions. Because it appears that you're telling this Tennessee pastor he can do no wrong. And I don't know, I'm no biblical scholar, but I'm pretty sure in the Bible, one of the big things that it harps on is thou shalt have no other God before me. Seems like that kind of contradicts that. Hey guys, thanks for watching. That was a clip from Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. What does that mean? That means I log on to a stream and people tweet me articles over on Twitter at Ron Placone, or they use our Reddit subsection, which is just Get Your News On with Ron over on Reddit. And that's how we build the show. I'm seeing all these articles for the first time. We are literally getting our news on together. Follow me on Twitter at Ron Placone so you can participate. And this show streams live every Tuesday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please do tune in. If you want to support this show, you can do so over on patreon.com/Ron Placone, where for as low as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive podcasts every week, exclusive videos, free tickets to shows when I'm performing in your town, and more for as low as $1 a month. Please do consider it. Thank you so much for your support. This has been Get Your News On with Ron.